Saudi Arabia, the law is quite strict concerning activities such as drinking alcohol or doing uncommon stuff, and many times the consequences are harsh. Nevertheless, when you examine the performances of the country's public officials, there exists a sharp contrast between the public and private behaviors, especially among the country's elite figures, including the Al Saud's royal family from Saudi Arabia, are said to be closed behind them for the purpose of debauchery and the extravaganza of drugs, prostitution, and controversial actions of them. Such an expose aims to unveil the two-faced nature of those who rule the dark side. The Saudi royal family, a group of about 10,000 to 20,000 members, where a few hundreds of persons have large wealth, power, and influence. The net value of their wealth is estimated to be between 500 billion and 3 trillion, which is why they are known to be the world's richest family. Under the leadership of King Salman, the party of the modern royal family includes Prince Mohammed bin Salman, or the Party Prince, who used 50 million on a single private party in 2010. The fact that King Salman, who is 87, refrains from indulging in excessive activities is not the focus anymore, since the line of interest shifts to younger royals like Mohammed bin Salman. The electoral reform, which took place in 2006, allowed a committee of princes to choose a king. Mohammed bin Salman, the younger prince, who is also known as MBS, is a role model for other influential royals. The way he is making changes to the strict Saudi law inspires the others as well. The royal family gives parties. The guests are the rich and famous people, e.g. CEOs and celebrities. The evenings, as some of them are underground, are accompanied by huge spending, as well as such things that go beyond the ordinary. The investment of the Saudi Public Investment Fund provides critical information about the global elite attendees. Though it is a daunting task to figure out who attended these parties, the fact they were attended by high-profile people and probably the rich makes them notable. About 2 years ago, a particularly salacious report was published concerning a lavish party thrown by Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the current crown prince and prime minister of Saudi Arabia. In 2015, he brought in 150 of the most beautiful models from Brazil and Russia to the island of Maldives, considered one of the most luxurious destinations in the world. The island, which was equipped with 48 villas facing the Indian Ocean, each with its own staff, swimming pools, and decks, was the place where the show took place. The party that was unrivaled in its splendor and opulence was beyond imagination, and the cost of it was estimated to be $50 million. The host, Prince Mohammed bin Salman, turned no stone unturned and brought a snow machine too for an artificial blizzard on the beach. The revelries continued until daybreak, and they were accompanied by excessive alcoholism as well as drug abuse, supplemented by extramarital affairs on the part of influential Saudi Arabian men. Prince Mohammed bin Salman had a full understanding that he could face the impacts of his measures. The fact that the Maldives could be in the middle of a catastrophe is what will be the result if it was discovered that these events occurred in the country. The fact that he threw his lavish parties and spent outrageously could be the straw that breaks the camel's back, and it will cause an uprising among the young people who are already struggling with the rules which limit their personal freedoms. In Saudi Arabia, where the law and religion are intertwined, Prince Mohammed bin Salman imposed a ban on smartphones during lavish parties to prevent any information from spreading that may lead to a mutiny among the young population who are growing increasingly discontented. The secret of his success was that he rewarded all the staff with a 1-year bonus, which was equal to their 5-month salary. This wasn't the only time Prince Mohammed bin Salman did this. He also had parties that were too extravagant and full of luxurious things which the people were not allowed to see. After having bought a 439-foot super yacht, Serene, for $500 million, he kept on living a lavish lifestyle full of exclusive gatherings with features of 2 helipads, a submarine dock, an underwater viewing room, a jacuzzi, a cinema, and a grand piano all on board. The country's reputation was further tarnished by the prince's infamous cases of corruption, and the new details of the prince's immoral behavior were revealed. In 2018, it was reported that in GCC countries like Bahrain and London, hotel rooms were trashed by Saudi Arabian royals who organized wild parties in the luxury private suites, leaving behind the costly cleanup fees. Cleaning bills were frequently as much as $200,000, with rooms in which people were found covered in human feces. A former sex worker told on Instagram that she was trafficked and the $1 million was paid for her so she could fulfill cruel fetishes and fantasies, including engaging in sexual acts with dogs and eating stool. These stories pointed out all the differences between the extravagant life of the Saudi elites and the lack of freedom, luxury, and opulence for the whole population. A lot of the stories about the secret parties, which were attended by the rich and the powerful, have already surfaced, and some of the party organizers have been prosecuted as well. In 2010, Saudi Prince Saud bin Abdulaziz Al Saud was sentenced to life for murdering his household servants in London. He based his conversation on the fact that homosexuality was not true, and this was during the trial. MBS, Prince Mohammed bin Salman, once famous by his nickname, will host hermit-style island parties and has been an early billionaire. Sources say he is ruthless, organizing larger parties in the city and bringing executions without any lawful consequences. In 2012, a TV show revealed that MBS was trying to have his uncle hurt and a Saudi exile assassinated by the Russian agents. The show also included the assassination of a journalist, which was a successful plot. In 2018, journalist Jamal Khashoggi was brutally murdered in a Saudi consulate, but there have been different clarifications about what happened. While evidence is plentiful that MBS gave the killing order, the legal consequences are, however, not so clear. According to records, many journalists were imprisoned in the past decade in Saudi Arabia. As for the media, the kingdom owns media sites like Vice, which changed their stand on criticizing MBS after business deals with Saudi Arabia in 2017. Currently, the labels are linked with the government of Saudi Arabia, which makes people doubt if they are changing their policy. The Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman recruited Edelman, a U.S. company, to enhance the kingdom's image in the U.S. In turn, Edelman, a company that is known to care about social issues, registered as a foreign agent in 2020 and got contracts worth at least $9.6 million from Saudi Arabia. They bring the light on Saudi's success in business, while at the same time they are ignoring the human rights issues of Saudi Arabia, such as the arrest of women for commenting on social media. The second PR agency that is working with Saudi Arabia is called Edelman. This agency is behind a $500 billion megacity project called NEOM. However, there are concerns over human rights violations in the country. Edelman is expecting over $3 million in royalties from this collaboration. The NEOM project is associated with the displacement of the indigenous population and the harsh penalties imposed on those who assert their rights, in view of which the UN is critical of the absence of proper compensation for the affected tribes.